I'd like to say a few words about emotional processes in this section on addiction to data. In the last video, we talked about the need to recognize that the connection between our brain, our head, and the rest of the body. And I want to follow that up with an acknowledgement of a fundamental reality. And that is this um, all persons within a family or an institution, that is any kind of system, all persons in a relationship system, no matter what that system is, are connected by the emotional processes between them. And that relationship system is understood to be a self organizing unit. And so it is necessary to focus more upon relationship processes. How is it that people relate? Why do they relate this way? Why has this issue surfaced now? It's necessary to focus more on relationship processes and less upon different personalities or different genders, as I said before. Now, Edwin Friedman actually challenges the belief that leadership is primarily about the communication of ideas. And I agree with him. I don't think leadership is about the communication of ideas. I think leadership is about presence. But what I want to maintain here is that communication is an emotional phenomenon, and the key variables are interrelational. Think about direction. He talks about distance and anxiety. Now, think about it this way: other people that are part of your relationship system can only hear you. That is, they can only internalize what it is you are saying when they are moving towards you. I'm not talking about physical moving here, but when they're understanding, they're moving your direction, and it doesn't matter how eloquent you phrase your message, right? They can only hear you when they are moving towards you. Another way of looking at this is as long as you are pursuing, as long as you are rescuing, or you're in some kind of coercive position, your message, no matter how eloquent, will never land. It'll never be internalized. They'll never hear it. Um, Anxiety, in as we think about communication here, anxiety functions then as a sort of static. Anxiety is the static, really, of any kind of communication system. And what it will do is it will distort and scramble any kind of message that you're trying to get across. And it can't just be eliminated simply by turning it up, because what that does is just turns up the static, right? It turns up the anxiety. Another example, uh, have you ever noticed? Um, Have you ever noticed how the presence of secrets can produce paranoia in an individual, and it does not or is not dependent on their personality? Personality here is not the issue. That's what I'm trying to, it's the relationship processes. We live in a society today that is driven by chronic anxiety. And if this is true, and I believe it is, uh, this means that our approaches to and the content that's often provided in leadership training has also become infected, is also chronically driven. Think about some of the leadership training out there is focused on just getting the right ideas, the honing the right techniques, analyzing the most current data. When we detach leadership from healthy emotional processes in the service of data, in the service of technique, even our most esteemed academic institutions can be acting under a kind of an influence of a sort of mania, right? Sort of craziness, and maybe should not even be looked to for solutions. We could certainly say that it's about government, right? So, a new way of seeing things within a family, within a system, or in our society uh, uh, need not originate from outside that system. That is new thinking, novel thinking, new thoughts can arise within such a system. But in order for this to occur, someone must first get outside that system's emotional processes while remaining physically inside. That is, they must begin to differentiate while remaining connected without overcoming the reactivity of society, without taking a stand to the chronic anxiety in our society, escaping the automatic regulation of our thinking and acting um, by the emotional processes that run in our systems, nothing's going to change. Nothing will change in your family. Nothing will change in your work environment. And now's the time to take a stand. Claim who you are and begin the process of claiming your I. Begin the process of differentiating. That is, start thinking differently, right? Start thinking differently. Claim who you are. Stop blaming other people. Own who you are. And you can do that within the current systems that you are in. Now, we'll talk more about self differentiation in the third area. Blessings.